I have spent so much goddamn money on League of Legends. Look at this. Look at this number here. Now, League is a game that I have loved and hated at random intervals. They made $1.6 billion in revenue last year. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Is this gold mine that seems to be League of Legends. Because good God, did they make a butt ton of money. Good for them. I got a fun game that really sucks sometimes. But it's a good... game's pretty good. Why is League of Legends one of the best free-to-play models out there? Ho ho ho! I'm gonna tell you about it. I'm gonna explain some stuff. I'm a little biased. I don't care. We're still gonna talk about it. Self-aware. All right. So here we are at this beautiful wall I've organized in many hours. Before I get into kind of the details of why League does free-to-play really good, you gotta understand the other payment structures for video games and probably some other stuff, but all I care about is the video game side of it. This one's kind of irrelevant. This is a traditional purchase structure. We don't need to talk about that one. That's you buy a game and you play it, and that's it. There can be DLC included in that if it's, legitimate. Why did I start at the bottom? Haha! Free to play. That's what we're going to talk about. Now, there's a couple types of free to play. We're going to have, you got ad-based free to play. Ad-based free to play. And you have regular. At some point I had this scripted. I'd rather just wing it. Yeah, it'd probably be better. So that's what we're gonna do. Next up, we got pay to play, which would be a subscription-based service, essentially. There's just gonna be MMO things. Yeah, free to play is actually so good that those pay to play games have even adopted free to play elements. So if that gives you a sense of where we're going with this. Next, you got pay to win. I'm pretty sure everyone's aware of what these are. For those of you that don't know what a pay-to-win game is, a pay-to-win game is where some people kind of get shafted because they're not willing to pay money to get good items that make them better than other people. It's pretty fucking dumb. Fuck pay-to-win. You guys are assholes. Next, you got freemium. Now, I did read an article or two about freemium being referred to as like a free-to-play game, or maybe it was the other way around, where free-to-play was referred to as a freemium game, or having freemium elements. Now, in my opinion, that's some bullshit. I think it's its own separate thing. It's not part of free-to-play, it's not one of the two over here. Freemium is where you get an incomplete game, and you pay money to get the rest of it. Now, freemium is kind of stupid, but we're gonna call these developers egregious assholes. Hey, look at that. That's what freemium games are. Not free to play. Free to play and traditional gaming things are the epitome of what gamers usually want, I think. Really, what kind of... no one wants to pay a subscription for a game, especially when you don't know how long you're going to be playing it for. That's some booty. There's a reason why there's so many pay-to-play or subscription games out there that end up going free-to-play. Is because there's not enough people that want to play it. Or rather, there's not enough people that want to pay to play for it. So... what did I say? Well, where was I? I feel like I lost myself here. Free to play, pay to play is okay. This fucking stupid. It's not. It does not even count it. We're a little too self-aware. Stop your shit. You're dingus. You big old dingus. Freemium. It's a no. It's a bad. Don't do that. It's not appreciated. Because we don't like egregious assholes. All right. We don't like them. Well, of course, you can't forget about traditional payment structure or purchase structure. You can't forget about a traditional purchase structure. That's never gonna go away. Well, I don't think it is. I can't fucking predict anything. Donald Trump is a legitimate candidate. I have no fucking idea what's gonna happen in the world. Let's get back to the main point here, because we're gonna talk about free-to-play and why it's super great, and why League does it really well, at least. Let's go over what Riot has as free-to-play. What do they do? They got influence points, IP, and they got RP. They got role-playing points. The name is pretty much irrelevant. Who knows? Maybe it has some unknown psychological effect that I just can't comprehend. But I don't care that much. IPRP. Now, most free-to-play games will probably they've either followed this kind of point layout system where they'll have earnable points by playing. Just can continue playing and you get delicious points and you're like, oh, I feel good. I've got all these yummy points. And then you got purchasable. Unlockables. Earnable IP will get you unlockables. Which is essentially saying that you play the game enough and you can unlock everything. RP will allow you to get those things faster than it would take you to grind out for them, essentially. Now, League is a game where there's kind of a high learning curve, so you kind of need this process at first, and then in due time it will be like, damn, I need to save up. Good God. The point is you can get everything in the game with IP. RP, well, speed it up. The important thing here is that anything you can buy with RP that you can't get with IP does not affect the functionality of the game. And that's the ticket. That's the main ticket for free-to-play. Functionality. There's every free-to-play system out there has kind of gone off some similar model of this. Those do serve a couple purposes, and I'll talk about those in a little bit. Before I get into that, I'd like to point out another quick infos. Some information. We're gonna learn. Another thing that a free-to-play game will do, League of Legends, is do these purchasable things. You can also get aesthetic upgrades. That's not very aesthetic. Ta-da. That is where the real money comes in, because Riot continually makes a bunch of shit. They make a bunch of shit. You get a good game and you do well with it, you're gonna have people that buy shit for it, even though it's totally unnecessary. Because that's what aesthetics are. Totally unnecessary shit. That's just, hey, look at me. I look a little cooler. Let's move on though. I said, what's so good about the point system, and why does it make this work a little more? Now let's remember that Riot made 1.6 billion, yet you did not need to buy anything that was on there to play the game, with pretty much everything available to you over time. So let's get into it. Riot points. Wow. Why are Riot points, or whatever points for whatever free-to-play game, so good? Why do you have to pay money to buy points for the game? Well, there's probably a bunch of reasons, but let's point out the obvious ones, because that's what I do best. Treat Riot points, or whatever currency you're trying to compare this to, as like a gift card or a rewards system of some point. Is that company wants you to get those so you can only use them here. Now, it's good for the producer, let's face it. It's not a problem for the consumer though. Impulse buy. Have you ever been in a store, you buy something and later on you're like, well fuck, why'd I get that? Well, League of Legends does that a lot. If you have an impulse buy in League of Legends, you must buy Riot points to get whatever it is that you would like to buy. Everything is in an uneven amount. So, majority of champions cost around $9.75. $9.75 IP. And $10 in Riot points is about $13.50. That is cheaper than $10. And that is the mindset that the average consumer will have. Is that, well, I'm gonna have some left over. Oh wait, that's not $13.50, it's $13.80. Hey, bonus points when you get over 5. Each little purchase climb. Oh, that's why you don't never run out of completely of Riot points. Shocker. Let's just put that point down actually. you never run out completely. Now you get your skin and you're looking beautiful and you're like, wow, good shit. Then you look up at your little account bar where it says you got 16 million IP because you played for 20 years and you got 482 RP left. This is not from this exact purchase. I'm just fucking winging it here. If you want me to do the exact math, I don't care. So you got some obscure amount of RP that can't get you anything necessarily. They're unspent monies. Let's use a pretty simple analogy that's a little off base. When you have leftovers in the fridge and you go and get them the next day, you're like, that's not enough for a meal. It's like, oh no, what do I do? I don't have enough food to have a nice, pleasant meal. What you do is you make a little bit more food. And that way you have a full meal. But then you're gonna have leftovers again later because you made a full meal with your leftovers. And that's kind of how the system works. And there's this perpetual system of just having unused riot points, which encourages you to buy more riot points at some point in time. Because it's always just sitting there, unused cash on a gift card or in the fridge. I forget what analogy I was doing. This is also kind of just a little bit of confusion on amounts that you have. On amounts of money. So you never, it's not that it's necessarily confusion, it's never something you really think about too much. You're just kind of like, well, that's the RP I have. No worries. You don't really give it a dollar value too often. I think I pretty much talked about everything. I just kind of forgot to write something down. We'll call this is PewDiePie now. PewDiePie costs 12 riot points. Get yours today. So I mean, so that's pretty much how riot points work. Or not how they work necessarily, but why they work and why they're all sorts of dandy. The important part about this is that you do not need RP to do anything in League of Legends. All you gotta do is play the game, and you can unlock everything that is necessary to play the game. If you have to purchase something in order to change the functionality of the game, or improve the functionality of the game in some way, shape, or form, it's no longer a free-to-play game. It's a freemium bullshit. Now, just to touch on why this is a gold mine is that Riot has become so popular, or League of Legends rather, that they are the gold standard of free-to-play stuff because they continue to produce content that you do not need for the game, like all these wonderful skins and shit and game modes, and they're constantly trying to improve the game. And they get a constant flow of money from people that don't feel like they're paying for anything that they need. They still get to enjoy the game to the fullest extent. And that's what it's all about. You get full enjoyment. It's all just one big perception. And when you have a game that is completely free, more people are going to play it, giving that company more chances to sell unnecessary things, but things that look pretty cool, like aesthetic upgrades. It's just needs versus wants. That seems to be a lot of easy, or a lot of big complicated things. Just comes down to needs versus wants. Do you need to buy anything in this game in order to experience it fully? Not even a little bit. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That is a perfect free-to-play game. The instant you charge a player for needs in the game, well, you have stepped in the wrong direction, sir. And I think what I really would like to say here is